Hey, what's up? It's Jules. Welcome to my channel. In this video we're going to look at the second part of the tort of negligence elements, and that is breaching the standard of care. So that's whether someone has or has not lived up to this objective standard that we as a society say, hey, you should be living up to this. So let's get into it. In order for someone to be responsible in the tort of negligence, it must be shown that they have breached the objective standard of care that we as a society say they should live up to. So basically that means, were they foolish, were they stupid, were they idiotic, or were they negligent? So this standard is objective, and what that means is if I am particularly stupid and I cause someone damage, I can't say, hey, I lived up to my best standard that I could have, but I'm quite a stupid person. You can't say that. We as a society say, no, you are stupid and you did not live up to the objective standard that any reasonable human should have lived up to. So that comes from Bolam, that case, and that case also established this ordinary man riding the bus kind of thing. And that means that you need to live up to the standard of an ordinary person riding the bus, that kind of person. So we don't expect you to be a superman or a superwoman, but we do expect you to live up to the standard of the ordinary kind of guy riding the bus. If you have special skills, or you put yourself out there as having special skills, like let's say you're a lawyer and you say, I have special skills in law, then you will be held to the objective standard of a person with those skills or saying they have those skills. So that's also from the Bolam case. So that means you have to live up to the ordinary standard of anyone in that position. So you have to live up to the ordinary standard of an accountant, the ordinary standard of a lawyer, the ordinary standard of a pill builder. It's also a balancing act for the courts. So if it was very easy for you to remove the thing or do something else that would have made you not breach the standard of care and you chose not to, the courts might say, hey, you should have and you were negligent. So let's say it was super easy for you to make a fence that stopped cricket balls from exiting your stadium and you didn't, then the law might say, hey, you should have. But if it would have been super expensive, like it would have cost millions to build this and it would be completely unreasonable for you to have built it, the law might say you didn't breach that standard, because no objective and reasonable person in your situation would have been expected to do that thing. For children, children must come up to the ordinary standard of a child of their age. So if you are 12 years old, you must live up to the standard of an ordinary 12-year-old, not a highly intelligent 12-year-old and not a very stupid 12-year-old. However, if you are a child and you are doing adult activities, you must live up to the standard of an adult. And that's because, let's say we have everyone driving on the road and someone was 16 and someone was 40. We can't say that the 16-year-old isn't held to the same standard, because we all know they can do the same amount of damage. So everyone has to be held to the same standard when you're all doing the same thing. And that counts for motorbiking or any kind of dangerous activity that is an adult activity that children are doing. If someone has an unknown medical condition, it is unreasonable to hold them accountable if, let's say, they're driving a car and they all of a sudden have some sort of seizure or something they didn't know about and it causes damage. That would be to impose strict liability, which would be to say no matter what your mental state was, you're liable. But if you do have a mental condition and you are aware of it and instead you decide to, who cares, I'll just drive anyway, then you may have been breaching the standard of care which you should have lived up to. Trying also doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter if you say, hey, I tried to live up to the standard but I failed. The law will say it doesn't matter what you tried, you either did or you didn't live up to the standard of care. When driving, the standard is always what a reasonable and prudent driver would do, and the standard of care changes based on the conditions. In New Zealand we say drive to the conditions, if they change reduce your speed, and in law it will say the same thing. If the conditions change you have to reduce your speed as an ordinary and prudent driver would do, otherwise you will breach your standard of care. The standard of care that you will be held up to is also what is ordinarily understood at the time. So you can't look back at the 1950s and say that the cigarette companies breached their standard of care when, let's say, that type of knowledge about the health detriments that cigarettes cause wasn't available at that time. So you can't look back at 1950s with our current knowledge of 2019. So it's based on the objective standard of what an ordinary person at that time should have been held up to. The standard is also not too onerous. So the law won't create an impossible standard that is very hard for people to live up to. And that is the standard of care and a few different things to do with it. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more law videos and also study videos. If you liked this video, you'll also like the video about the duty of care and negligence and all the other negligence ones, so I'll have them linked below and also in the box here. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye!